All right, guys, it's Bourbon Heritage Month. Yeah. So, what do you think we're going to talk about? You got it. That's right. That's right. We're talking about bourbon again, but this is not bourbon 4, 5, whatever it was. This is not it. This is something special because today, which day of this recording, not today you're listening because it'll be a week or so. Today is Jimmy Russell from Wild Turkey has celebrated 70 years of being distiller. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So we are going to talk about Wild Turkey. We're going to talk about the Russell family. And we're just going to kind of go about that. So I don't know if y'all were around when I did my live stream recently. It was pretty amazing. We had quite a few people in the chat. That was really cool. Hopefully you listen to it on the podcast apps because it's just another way of me to create good content for you guys. And those of you at home and those of you on the Patreon, well, not at home, but those of you on the Patreon are going to see that I got a crispy new camera. Yeah, I do. And we're hopefully making better and better content for you. So hopefully the battery lasts throughout the entire podcast. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I am actually home today. It's September 11th. Thoughts and prayers to the things that happened that day. We're not going to get down. We're not going to get down. It's fine. We are going to talk about a couple of different things first before we get into the Russell family and the whole Wild Turkey gamut that they have going on. I think that the bourbon episodes have been going really well. The feedback has been pretty good. The issue is I don't want it to continue to be like repetitious, right? I don't want it to continue to be the same thing over and over again. Now we're going to talk about this bourbon. Now there's so many distilleries out there that are producing great bourbon, right? They're producing great bourbon, but it's Bourbon Heritage Month, right? So we are trying to focus on bourbon. Now, I love bourbon. I've said it multiple times. I'm trying in my heart of hearts to find a go-to bourbon for me. I like quite a few of them, but I'm trying to find one that stands out above all the others, right? Just like this, like I love Old Grandad. I love this one, Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, but they're not like, I don't know. I like Eagle Rare. I like, Blanton's is fine, but I don't care for Elijah Craig. I don't really like Old Forester that well. Now, I have not tried all the Old Foresters, obviously, because I tried one, the 86 proof. I don't even know which one that was. I tried it, and I was like, I don't really like this profile. So I just didn't get another one. Now, I did get their rye whiskey, which that's rye whiskey, not bourbon, and it was pretty good. It was really good in a cocktail. So that being said, I'm trying to find a bourbon that I'm just like, this is it. This is the bee's knees. Awesome. And trying not to have it be like a finished bourbon, right? Or what some people call not bourbon, not that I care. I actually prefer finished whiskeys. I just killed the Ladybird from Garrison Brothers. Super awesome, and it's finished in honey and cognac, so take that for what it is. Really fun, really. I love this exploration type. I will say I do like the profile of MGP. It has a good profile because like the Eleanors, the old Eleanors that I've had back when they were like single barrels, They were really nice. And of course they aged them in Texas a little bit. So that's a thing. But it's one of those things. I'm looking up on the shelf right now. Four Roses is actually really, really nice. I enjoy it. I need to get another bottle of it. Uh, Michter's is okay. I don't know. Am I just too picky? Is that what it is? Am I just too picky about whiskey that I have to critique everything? Maybe. Is that it? Is that the because I've tried the Evan Williams single barrel, the 1783. They're fine, but they're, to me, and this is personal opinion, they are like a good mixing whiskey. Make a cocktail, put it in a Coke, whatever. They're not like sit down, sip it neat type whiskeys to me. Now, to you, they might be a little different. I'm looking up there. Now, Buffalo Trace, just the baseline Buffalo Trace is pretty good. But again, it's not very complex. It doesn't have a whole lot going for it, I guess I could say. And so like somebody says, well, try Stag. Well, I've tried Stag. I have a couple of bottles of Stag, and it's good. Don't get me wrong, but like it's hot just to be hot. Does that make sense? Like it's just fire in your mouth with proof and barrel, and it's just overwhelming, right? Not overwhelming. You get what I'm saying. It's a lot. Does that make sense? So I don't know. I don't know how to think about it. But at the same time, don't care. Don't really care. Because I'm going to eventually find a bourbon that I'm just like, this is it. I've tried Wilderness Trail. I've tried all of these, not so big six brands, right? I tried a lot of craft, but the deal with craft is it's interesting. It's very good. Even Texas whiskeys, right? They're interesting. They're very good, but it's not something I'm going to buy a second bottle of. There are very few things I buy second bottles of. Now, that might just be me wanting to explore, and that's fine. I can do that. That's my prerogative. But so I guess my question is, in the comments, please let me know, what is it that you keep going back to? Is there a brand that you keep going back to that you're just like, yep, all day, every day, every time I find a bottle of it, I'm going to pick it up? Because there's some people, and I'm not shouting you out, and I'm not braving. Oh my God, I'm saying big words now. Let's stop. I'm not, calling you out either, but that have 6, 7 deep of a particular bottling. That's fine. That's on you. Now let me say this. I have a lot of, and this is going to get tatery, but I have a lot of the Wellers out there, like the antiques and the 12 and stuff like that. And they're good. Don't get me wrong. And I've tried Pappy, and I've tried, all of those highly allocated bottles as well. And they're good, but like I've never sat down with a bottle of it and just critiqued it, right? And maybe I should. I just recently got a bottle of Weller Foolproof, right? A backup bottle, so to speak. I guess I need to break into it and see if it's that profile that I like. Since it is at that higher proof, maybe it will give more oiliness and more, stuff like that. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys know of any bourbons that are just the bangers for you, right? I had a New Riff single barrel recently it was really nice, but it wasn't great. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, not my socks off, I gotta find 2 more bottles of this. And again, maybe that's just my profile. Maybe I'm just not one of those ones that spends a lot of time with a bottle. You know what I mean? I enjoy it. I have fun with it. The only couple of bottles, especially bourbon bottles, that I've bought multiples of is Wild Turkey 101. And I really enjoy the whiskey, but I love it in cocktails. I love it in an old fashioned. And I use this whole liter bottle that's right here beside me. I used it in my old fashioned mead. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. But do I have another bottle of Wild Turkey 101 in the shed? No, I don't. So all that being said, moving on. So we are going to get into something that I don't normally do, but we're going to get into it just because I feel like being Bourbon Heritage Month, we need to talk about it. So let's get into it. This is Whiskey News. All right. So the big whiskey news of today is Wild Turkey is celebrating a huge milestone. Master Distiller Jimmy Russell, also known as the Buddha of Bourbon, reached his 70th year with the brand. To honor him, Wild Turkey is releasing a special 8-year bourbon blend at 101 proof, available this fall. Russell is a key figure in the bourbon history, and he helped steer the industry through tough times in the 70s and 80s. Russell celebrates 70 years with Wild Turkey, and then it has the resources, right? The spirit business and stuff like that. So that was the big
Bluetooth
headline for it.
disconnected. Bluetooth connected.
What just happened? Can you still hear me? Ay.
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth connected.
I have no idea what's going on. My mixer keeps saying Bluetooth disconnected. I don't have Bluetooth hooked up to it, so that's really strange. Maybe I should turn the Bluetooth off. Hold on 1 second. I don't know. I'm stupid, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Whatever. Hopefully you can still hear me. It's on. I just don't. Anyway, whatever. So that was the big news of the day, and we're going to get a little deeper into that. Four Roses limited edition 2024 small batch bourbon is set to launch September 14th. So by the time you hear this, it's going to be already launched, and is highly anticipated release, including a blend of bourbons aged 12 to 20 years. There's only 16,680 bottles available. Expect to showcase the batch bourbon to launch September 14th. And that's from Breaking Bourbon, just to let you know. Now it would be cool, but I don't think you're gonna get a bottle. And if you do, great. That's awesome. But 16,000 bottles in all of the U.S. or maybe all of the world. That's not a lot of bottles. That's really not a lot of bottles. Oh, I see what's going on. Let me pause. For some reason, my mixer was trying to link Bluetooth to my phone. Why? I don't know. Do I have an IT guy in set? Let's go. Anyway, so yeah, you're probably not going to be able to get a Four Roses LE, but if you do, great. Send me a sample. The Kentucky Bourbon Festival is actually this weekend, the 13th, whatever. The Kentucky bourbon scene continues to evolve. Speyside Bourbon Cooperage recently announced a $16.8 million investment to build a new stave mill, along with the growing bourbon infrastructure. That's from the Bourbon Pursuit guys. So that's crazy. $16 million for a new mill house. And I'm like, Speyside bourbon? That's kind of weird. Speyside scotch. Anyway, I don't know. I hope you guys like this newsy section. I'm not going to do it all the time, but I since we're talking about Wild Turkey and today's the thing, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of news as well. Let me get into world news, right? World whiskey news. One of our old favorites, Ardbeg. Yeah, Ardbeg revives its iconic 17-year-old whiskey. Ardbeg has brought back its beloved 17-year-old whiskey, which was discontinued in 2004. This limited edition release is highly anticipated by fans of the island distillery, renowned for its peated whiskeys. Macallan Time and Space Collection. Well, yeah. Macallan continues to celebrate its 200 years of whiskey mastery and the Time Space Collection. This mark is a continuation of their storytelling through whiskey, following their Tales of Macallan series. Guaranteed you're not going to be able to find one. They're expensive. I can get you. I can bet you that. Okay, Alberta Distillery, Anoka, Anokha, took home the title of World Best New Make and Young Spirit at the 2024 World Whiskey Awards, which is a heavily peated single malt. This is not whiskey. The small distillery beat out major contenders from Scotland, Ireland, and Japan. Wow. That's a big one. That's a big one. Like this little Alberta, Canada, whatever. That's crazy. Okay. Waterford Distillery. They're out of, yes, I'll get it. Ireland? Yeah. Sorry. Has launched a new flagship cuvee, biodynamic cuvee Luna, as part of their core range. This unique expression is part of Waterford's mission to explore terroir-driven whiskeys. And all of these are from Whiskey Magazine. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. There's a lot. September, October is big for whiskey, actually. Production, because everybody releases their LE stuff. Did I make it? Kinda. My trash can's way too full. I gotta get that thing. Anyway, gotta get it taken care of because it's a hot mess. Pause for water. Hope you guys are well. Hope everybody is healthy and living life. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about the future, the future of this podcast. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. We're not going anywhere. Nothing's really changing. Don't you hate it when you like drink water and then it like gets stuck in your throat and you're like, oh, and you start choking on your own water? I do that a lot. Probably because I start talking before I even finish swallowing the water. Whatever, it's mind over matter type thing, I guess. Let's talk a little bit about the future of the podcast. Okay. And if you don't like this type of content, just fast forward a little bit. It's fine. So I've been talking to the Patreon a little bit, have been not thinking of changing things. I'm not changing a thing, but possibly releasing, how do you say it? A little bit more short form content on the podcast, like maybe reviews. I don't know. Just to give a little bit more content on the podcast apps, right? To where if you don't want to sit down and listen to a hour and a half podcast, you can listen to a 15, even 10-minute little blurb. I don't know. Now I will tell you this. Is it more work on my side? Mm-hmm. It is. It's more work on my side, but I'm willing to do it if you guys are into that. Okay. So if you are into that, let me know. Let me know in the comment down in the whatever. I know that Spotify is difficult to comment. Apple, I don't know if you even can comment. Anyway, Amazon, there's like one person over there, I think. So please, if go listen on Amazon. You can listen to it on Audible, at the same time. So I'm not telling you to take your money elsewhere, but if you already have an Amazon account, you automatically have Amazon Podcast. So if that's so what you desire. But I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day, and I said, well, what if we did something like this? Because I listen to podcasts all the time, and sometimes it's nice to have just a little short blurb, just a little something to where you can be like, hey, yeah, this is cool. Or maybe you don't want to go in depth on a topic. You just want to have kind of like the overview, right? Because I can sit here and talk all day long. It's not going to really matter, right? If you don't care. So just something I've been toying around with. I might do one and get your feedback on it. Who knows? I really in maybe the next episode when we're fixing to get into spooky season, I'm trying to work into that. On the next episode, I might want to do like a because Whiskey House Pub House did something similar like this. Best budget bourbons or best budget whiskeys. I could do whiskeys in general. Um, that would be kind of fun, just to like talk about, give you price lines. Of course, that's my price line, not yours, but give you price lines on some of these whiskeys, and maybe even open up one and kind of give you some tasting notes on one or two, whatever, depending, and just kind of go from there, right? That's coming very soon, because I think it's different content. It's less schooly, right? There's less learning involved. It's more like, hey, this is going to help you, because we are getting into, then after spooky season, we get into the holiday season, right? So people are going to want to know, the best whiskeys to buy for the end of the year for family and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a couple episodes on not only whiskeys, but like whiskey related things like Badmo barrels or 1030 barrels or something like that, or whiskey cocktail glasses or cocktail books or something like that. I think I did that last year as well, and I think it'll become a annual thing. And then at the end of the year, towards the end of the year, I'll give you my best of the bottles that I've had, my best of whiskeys, right? Again, this is all up to you guys, because if you're like, no, that's crap, I don't want to hear that, talk more about Wild Turkey, then that's what we'll do, right? I can sit here and ramble off and do research on distilleries. I got the books. You can see them stacked up behind me. I got the books, so it's not it's not like I don't have the research to do, right? Uh, so moving on. 22 minutes in, and he's already off the rails. That's normally how it goes, right? So now we're going to talk about Wild Turkey and my buddy Jimmy. Now, he's not my buddy because I've never met the man, but I feel like if he was to hang out with me, we'd be buddies, because I'm so cool. No. So Wild Turkey, and I am reading this, and I will give you my things at the end. Wild Turkey is a cornerstone of bourbon history, and much of its legacy is intertwined with the Russell family, particularly Jimmy Russell, the long-standing master distiller in the industry. Okay. In the early years, Wild Turkey traced its origins back to 1940, where Thomas McCarthy, an executive at Austin Nichols, a wholesale grocer, bought some bourbon from the Ripley distillery on a Wild Turkey hunting trip with friends. They loved the whiskey so much that they began to refer to it as Wild Turkey, and McCarthy made it the official name of his private label bourbon. In 1942, Wild Turkey 101 hit the market and started the brand's journey as one of America's iconic bourbons. We've already kind of talked about some of this stuff. That was an overview. This is a little more in depth, right? Initially, Wild Turkey wasn't distilling in-house. Instead, Austin Nichols contracted whiskey from various distilleries until they had eventually purchased the Lawrenceburg distillery in 1971, securing production and quality control under one roof. All right, so this is a little bit of and so that's crazy. Like from 1941 to 1942 to 1971, they were sourcing whiskey. Wild Turkey was sourcing whiskey. It just goes to show you how prevalent it is in the whiskey industry. And there's nothing wrong with sourcing, right? We've talked about this multiple times. I beat that horse. That horse is dead, but I'm sure. Jimmy Russell's influence. There we go. Ready? Born in 1934 in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, Jimmy Russell grew up in the heart of bourbon country. In 1954, he started working at the distillery as an apprentice under Bill Hughes and Ernie Ripley, two prominent distillers of the time. Russell learned the craft from the ground up, mastering every step of the process from mashing to fermenting to distillation and aging. His traditionalist views and oh, sorry, you guys know I can't read. I'm trying my hardest. And insistence on quality helping shape the Wild Turkey bourbon that we know and love today. Jimmy believed in crafting the whiskey the old-fashioned way. He rejected trends like lighter, lower proof spirit, which is what they were doing through, a lot of that. He stuck to Wild Turkey's high proof, bold flavors, even when deemed consumer demand shifted. The dedication paid off as the bourbon's renaissance took hold in the late 20th century. Jimmy's philosophy. Jimmy Russell approach to bourbon is deeply rooted in tradition. Under his leadership, Wild Turkey has remained one of the few distilleries to never alter their yeast strain, their recipe, or their distillation methods. The brand's flagship Wild Turkey 101 remains a tribute to Jimmy's commitment to strong, full-bodied bourbon. He believes slow aging process, charred oak barrels, and high rye content for a robust and spicy profile became the key characteristic of Wild Turkey's bourbon. So there's people right now that are, a while back, Wild Turkey changed it a little bit. I don't know if it was the design or it used to be older stock and now they're using younger stock. I don't know. Here's the deal. If you're going to nitpick a brand that much for changing a little bit, it's like they don't have the 15-year-old barrels to put in there, right? So what do you want? Like, chill. Chill out, bruh. Russell also played a crucial role in guiding the brand through turbulent times. During the 70s and 80s, the bourbon industry was significantly declined by lighter spirits like vodka gained popularity. Many distilleries out there cut corners and closed altogether, but Jimmy stood firm in maintaining Wild Turkey's quality. His resilience during these lean years is widely credited to the help of the perseverance of the bourbon tradition. That sucks. And I mean, it's a thing, right? It is a thing. It's one of those things we've talked about it multiple times. And a lot of good distilleries closed down during that time, and they're having a resurgence now, which is amazing, and I love that. But yeah, let's talk about the next generation with Eddie. In 1981, Jimmy's son Eddie Russell joined Wild Turkey as a relief operator. Initially, he did not intend to follow in his father's footsteps, but soon became deeply involved in the family craft. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Over the decades, Eddie rose through the ranks, learning everything from production to distillation under Jimmy's guidance. The father-son duo worked together closely to ensure that Wild Turkey's high standards were upheld. Eddie introduced innovation while maintaining the brand's roots. For example, he developed Wild Turkey's Russell's Reserve line, which included small batched aged bourbon like their 10-year-old bourbon and their 6-year-old rye. The success of Russell's Reserve demonstrates how the Russell family has success in the balance and of the innovation. Eddie has continued to honor his high standards set by his father, which introducing a new product like Wild Turkey Long Branch, a collaboration with actor Matthew McConaughey that uses mesquite charcoal to filter to give the bourbon a unique Texas twist. Eddie officially became master distiller along with his father. So you have two master distillers in 2015. Marking a significant moment of Wild Turkey altogether. Jimmy and Russell represent over 100 years of combined experience, ensuring that the brand's legacy of bold, authentic bourbon will continue for further generations. Eddie has emphasized that he will respect the traditions his fathers taught him and not be afraid of innovation, creating expressions that appeal to the modern bourbon enthusiast, not influencer, not you out there. Russell Reserve and Legacy. The Russell Reserve line, which was Eddie's brainchild, has been widely regarded as a premier offering for Wild Turkey. It represents the blend of old and new. Eddie's experimenting with barrel aging and blending techniques. While they stand true to Wild Turkey's characteristic style, the Russell's Reserve 10 and the single barrels have garnered a loyal following, often offering deep, complex flavors with the unmistakable Wild Turkey spice. I agree. I agree. Wild Turkey is its thing. Russell's Reserve is its thing. They're very similar, but they are different. You get a good barrel pick of a Russell's Reserve. Oh my goodness. I got one. It's back there somewhere. It was from Win Place and Show in Ruidoso, New Mexico. Yes, I know. It's this little podunk. Doesn't even, it looks like a bar because it is, but they have a bottle shop. I don't know how many bottles I bought while I was there. I should have got 2 of the Russells though. So good. One of the best Russells I've had. Just saying. Let's talk about Jimmy's legacy. Okay. And then we'll move on to other matters. As of 2024, which is right now, as of today, September 11th, Jimmy has celebrated his 70th year, which is a record in the whiskey industry. Often referred to as the Buddha of bourbon, his contributions go well beyond the brand. He's seen as one of the founding fathers of modern bourbon. His perseverance during the bourbon downtime and his steadfast commitment to the traditional methods has made him a beacon for authenticity in an industry where shortcuts are often taken. Jimmy's legacy, to honor Jimmy's legacy, Wild Turkey is releasing a special. We already talked about that. Oh no, they were having an event where the second 7 decades of his bourbon. He is beloved not only for his knowledge, but also his warm, approachable personality, often taking time to engage with his fans and sharing stories of his time in the distillery. The Russell family story is one of passion, dedication, and authenticity. The Wild Turkey remains a beacon of traditional bourbon making and known for their high-proof, full-bodied style, the refusal to compromise its quality. With Jimmy and Eddie Russell at the helm, the brand has managed to evolve with the times while remaining deeply rooted in their heritage. That's awesome. That Wild Turkey story exemplifies the balance between maintaining heritage and embracing innovation. That's it. That's just it. Like, yeah, that's all it is. You're embracing. You understand. Okay, I don't have anything else to read, so now you're getting just me. So this is opinion time. But okay, so for Jimmy, he's seen a lot, right? He's seen a lot through the whiskey years, right? A lot has gone on, especially with this new resurgence and this new whiskey coming on the shelf and all of these things. He's seen so much in it. He never would have thought people would be finishing bourbon, right? He never would have thought that. But yet now his son is doing the Long Branch, which to me, I need to get another bottle of. That's on my checklist. Get another bottle of Long Branch, because to me, I think I told you all already, but it was kind of my gateway bourbon because it was lighter, but it still had a very nice profile to it. Because some of those charcoal mellowed whiskeys can get a little, not funky, but they get a little like almost too softened, right? This one was softened just enough to where it like knocked the hard edges off, but you still got, it's almost like when you have a high proof bourbon and you put it on a big rock, right? And you let it sit for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and that ice is slowly melting into it to where it's like not going to saponify it, which, in a glass, it's not going to saponify it, slowly chilling it, but also like releasing other flavors. You know what I mean? So, yeah, think about that. So, I don't know. Like, to me, Wild Turkey is one of those brands that, like, when I go to Kentucky, I said when, not if, but when I go to Kentucky, that's one of the ones I have to go to. I have to go to Wild Turkey because it is so iconic in what they do. And they have very few SKUs, right? They have their Russell's line, obviously, which has a couple of SKUs. And then they have their Wild Turkey line, which has a couple of their SKUs. But that's pretty much it. They don't go far off over here. They haven't bought up a bunch of other. Whoa, they haven't bought up a whole bunch of other distilleries and stuff like that. Now they are owned by a parent company. Name me a distillery that's not right now, right? I mean, besides a very crafty one, right? So take that for what it is. Did whiskey change? No, I don't think it has. Some people say it has, but I don't personally think it has. And that's a testament to Jimmy's perseverance, right? Because he basically said, "Hey, we're not touching this stuff. This is the good stuff." So I don't know. What do y'all think about Wild Turkey? Do you like it? Is it more like, hey, that's what my dad drank, or that's what my grandpa drank, and you want to try other things, right? I get that. I get that. It is like one of those ones like Jim Beam Black, Jack Daniels Black. What's the other one? What's the other big one that everybody, Rich and Rare, if you're into that, Crown Royal. It's one of those ones where you're like, you don't really think about it. You don't really think about it being like a premier brand, because it's not. Now they have premier options to it. Like I just got, during the live, I did a blind, and in one of the blinds was the, what's it called? Wild Turkey Reveal or Revival. Let me find it real fast. All right. So I just went ahead and went on the Wild Turkey website, because they're going to tell you the best. So the sample was not the one I said. It was Wild Turkey Decades. Let's look at this. A hand selected lot of rare barrels aged between 10 and 20 years. It represents the best 2 decades of bourbon made by Wild Turkey. Master Distiller Jimmy Russell harmonized mingling liquids that resulted in an extraordinarily enjoyable whiskey with finesse, deep characters of the older bourbon, and anchored by bold, balanced, vibrant background of the 10-year-old bourbon blend. Let's discover the process and see. Oh, well, yeah, I don't care about none of that. I mean, I do, but like, I want to talk about that particular bourbon. Okay, so on the nose, it's a bouquet of oak and caramel. That is a cop out. On the taste, it's beautifully intrinsic. Nope, intricate. The flavors of butterscotch, dried fruit, chocolate, and a little bit of smoke. Okay, that sounds really good. It lingers with a smooth, sweet, and spicy finish. I'm not going to pull it out. I'm not, I promise you. 104 proof, made from a selected lot of rare barrels between 10 and 20 years old. That is super cool. Oh, look. They have the Jimmy Russell limited edition 70th anniversary bourbon. Let's look at that one. Commemorating bourbon release, the Master Distiller, blah, 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 70th anniversary. Oh, you can sign up? Can you sign up? Let's see. How much is it? Oh. What? I don't want to be on your email list. To honor Jimmy's incredible impact on the bourbon world, Wild Turkey is proud to present their limited edition Wild Turkey 70th anniversary 8-year-old bourbon. This collection is worthy as 8-year-old 101 bourbon with a blend of 8 to 9-year-old whiskeys, hand selected from a few of Jimmy's favorite Rickhouses. Best enjoyed neat or over ice. This bourbon is a true tribute to Jimmy's legacy. From his earliest days, distilling, sweeping floors at 18, rising through the ranks, Jimmy remained committed to the craft of bourbon the right way. While many began to, see, they're talking about the same thing we did. Here's tasting notes for the 70th anniversary. On the nose, vanilla, oak, honey, with notes of cinnamon, brown sugar, tobacco, and orange peel. Yes, please. On the taste, sweet cream, vanilla, butterscotch, stone fruit like dates, pecan, and black tea. Yes, please. On the finish, warming notes of caramel, dark cherry, and a long lingering finish of oak, burnt sugar, and bitter chocolate. Dude, that sounds amazing. You know what I mean? I wonder how many bottles they're gonna do of it, because that would be so cool to have. And like, it's really cool. It has a turkey like engraved on it, and it says 70th anniversary. Super cool. Super cool. Um, but yeah, that wow. Okay, let me stop doing what I'm doing. Uh-oh. Hold on. Ah! I am falling apart, guys. So evidently, my new camera is a Canon. Anyway, you don't care. The battery doesn't last as long as I would like, so we're gonna have to figure that out. So, for those of you on the Patreon, you get the webcam. Uh, whatever. All right, let me figure out something. I don't know. I can't find my paper now. I don't know what's going on. That's frustrating. So I wanted to. So I'm going to cut this one off a little bit short, because I can't find my paperwork. We were going to talk about a little bit more history of the Russell family, but I can't find it, and there's really not a whole lot there. Obviously, they're pretty private people, so I get that. I don't want to infringe on their privacy, right? Um, but yeah, I think that Wild Turkey, personally, this is just me, is a great brand. They, they're doing all kinds of stuff. I'm going back on their website. Is there anything? See, they only use a number 4 alligator char. That's all they do. That's crazy. Like, they have never thought about doing any other type. You know what I mean? They've never thought about anything. And it's so crazy. Like, they just stick to their own. You know what I mean? That's which I understand. I get. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's Jimmy. So they're doing a Bold Nights as well. They are it's a mentorship to support emerging music artists. So if you're into something like that, that's kind of cool. But other than that, that's really all there is. That's really all we have going on, because I don't know what else to say about Wild Turkey, other than, if you don't know, now you know, I guess, type thing. They've been like I said before, they've been a juggernaut in the bourbon industry right now. They have always been just a backbone of good bourbon. So I always have either a Russell's or a Wild Turkey, something on the bar, or at least a bottle, that I can pop into, because it is just a quintessential bourbon. So maybe that's my bourbon. Maybe that's my go-to, because I do have a number of offerings from Wild Turkey. I just thought about that. Not always, like, I'm not always in the mood for it, right? I can't just pour a pour of it every night, or I don't drink every night anyway, so I can't just pour a pour of it and be like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, I can't do that. I have to do it more like when I feel like, hey, I want a bourbon, so I'll pour me one. I'm like, I'll pour a small sample of it, very small, like, just enough to wet the tongue. And I'll be like, do I want to break into that or not? Because if I'm going to do a full pour, I'm not going to, I'm going to take my time with it. And so sometimes you just want to be like, okay, is this what I want? Okay, yes, it is. Or sometimes it's not, which is totally fine. And that's a part of exploring whiskey and getting into whiskey, is your palate changes daily, good and bad. Some days you're just not feeling it. Some days you're like, man, this Wild Turkey doesn't taste great to me today. I had one time. I don't know which one it was. Might have been the Russell's 10, and I tried it, and I was like, that tastes weird. Like, it just had a weird flavor. I couldn't really pinpoint exactly what the flavor was, but it was like almost like medicinal, but like cough syrupy, but not cherry cough syrup, but like the nasty cough syrup. And I was like, ugh, is this bad? Like I had the bottle for a minute, but like I didn't think it had, oxidized that much or whatever. No, I went back, so I didn't touch it for, I don't know, a month probably, maybe. So I went back to it again and I was like, no, that's pretty good. So I think it was just me. And sometimes when you get like sinusy stuff, whenever you get a little under the weather, your mood changes. We've talked about that multiple times. Whenever all that happens, like it changes your palate. And they say 70 something percent of your palate is the smell. So if you're like a little congested in your nose or something like that, it's going to throw off the bourbon for sure. So yeah, I mean that's just facts, guys. That's just the facts. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, and if you guys want, let me know if you like this type of content, obviously. And those of you on the Patreon, let me know what you thought earlier, not so much right now, what you thought of the new camera setup and stuff like that. I'm trying, guys. I really am trying. And thank you, thank the Patreons so much for the monetary support. And if you want to get in on some of the stuff that we're doing over there, go to patreon.com/the whiskey shaman and you can get in on this. I promise, guys, I'm getting the blinds. We're going to set up a thing, hopefully next week. But this will be after that. So I don't know why I even said that. Sorry. I'm trying to pre-record some stuff because you never know. You never know when you're going to be too busy to record an episode. So if you need to reach out to me, whiskeyshamanpodcast@gmail.com. That's my things. Head over to Instagram and YouTube and give me a follow, a like there as well, because I do different content over there. So if that's something you're into, I am working on merch. I do have stickers now that say "Keep Your Spirits Up." That's pretty cool. I'm giving those out to all the people who get samples from me and stuff like that. Patreon, you didn't get them because they came after, so sorry about that. I will do a special new post just for y'all whenever I recoup some money after the live stream. Man, that hit me hard. Just saying. All right, love you guys. Y'all be good, and until next time, keep your spirits up. Peace out.